It's Wolf, and I am back once again with the game Lake. It's been a while since I played this. So this is going to be sort of the first kind of in a new series of videos that I want to try to do, which is going to be called More Impressions. A lot of you guys are probably familiar with the 15 First Impressions series of videos that I do, which are usually either on free-to-play games or games that have been sent to me for free. Lake was a game that got sent to me for free a while back, and actually they sent me both an Xbox copy of it and a PC copy of it, and the Season's Greetings DLC on PC. So I've already been sent all of this stuff before, and I've made videos on it as well before, but sometimes when I get sent stuff for free, for one reason or another, I either end up getting another key for it, or there's just some sort of reason why I want to revisit it. And so this time, I actually want to kind of apologize to Gamious a little bit. I requested a key for Lake Season's Greetings, and apparently I already owned it, because when I went to use the key, it said that I already owned it, and I looked through my keymailer history, and I guess at one point before I requested it when it was considered an other item on keymailer, and then it got like relisted under a different category, and for some reason I requested it again. So they sent me another key for it, but I already had it. But since they sent me another key for it, and I really enjoy Lake, I figured I would make another video about it. By the way, I did send Gamious a message back on Keymailer to ask if I could use the key that they sent me as like a giveaway item. They haven't gotten back to me yet, but I noticed in like the terms and conditions of the key it said to not use it as a giveaway item, so I don't think that will happen, but if for some reason they do message me back and let me use it for a giveaway, I will figure out a way to do that. So even though I've played the game a bunch of times before, there is still more stuff for me to talk about with it, especially because it's actually been a while since I played it last. And one of the things that they've added since I played it last is an endless mode. And if I remember right, this is available both in normal Lake and in Season's Greetings. Since I got sent a key for Season's Greetings, and I've also not spent that much time playing Season's Greetings, I figure I will do this in Season's Greetings. So, Endless Mode Season's Greetings. Can't get enough of Providence Oaks. You've come to the right place. Endless Mode offers a never-ending cycle of new days with new delivery lists. No new stories or dialogue. Just good old driving around your pretty little lake town. So I'm going to start a new game. So here we are in Lake Season's Greetings Endless Mode. And if you guys haven't seen Season's Greetings before, it's actually a DLC for the original Lake. So as you can tell, I'm sorry, it's been a while since I played Lake, so I don't remember the name of the main character. But you play as her dad, who is the normal mail delivery person. It's like a prequel DLC to the main game. And in Endless Mode, you are playing as him around the town. And it's also snowy in Season's Greetings. So the other thing, too, though, with it being snowy, one other thing, though, is that you can actually change the weather type. So, like right now, even though Season's Greetings is always snowy, I believe that we could change it to be like... Let's do... There's like a thunderstorm option. I like thunderstorms. There we go. Although maybe not. Maybe not, because Season's Greetings might always have... Yeah, okay. So the weather option is a little bit limited, but I don't know if you can like make it snow in normal Lake this way, or if it's always kind of this way, but either way. So Endless Mode is pretty much just delivering packages. As that one thing that popped up said, there is not any new dialogue or anything, but you get both normal mail like packages and also parcels to deliver, which I gotta remember, 103 East 1st Street. That is the house we're at. So like I said, even though it's been a while since I played Lake, there's still a lot for me to talk about with it. In fact, I actually ended up playing through the entirety of Lake on stream quite a while ago, but I think I unlisted those streams because honestly that was back when I was working at a restaurant. I was kind of like miserable in real life, so I sounded like depressed during those streams. But they are still, if you guys want to see those, if you go into my playlists, I have a playlist of a bunch of streams that I unlisted. So if you really want to see depressed Wolf playing this game, then you can do that. But I haven't played through Season's Greetings, and it's been a while since I played through the main game as well. At some point, I'd like to play through it, I think on my own, or maybe do a playthrough for the channel, but sometimes it's kind of hard to do playthroughs for the channel because like I like linear games, but sometimes like games like Lake that have decisions and stuff, I don't know, it's like I want to show everything that the game has, but that's kind of hard to do with games that aren't really linear. One of the things that I really like about Season's Greetings also is the fact that you play as such a different character. was it Meredith, I think, was the main character's name of the original Lake? Either way, the main character of the original Lake is in like such a different life position than her dad is, and I kind of mentioned that in the 15 first impressions I did of this a while ago, where she is like returning to her hometown after a long time away. She gets to reconnect with a bunch of different characters that she like people that she hasn't seen in a long time, and you know, she's also like single, whereas her dad is married. He's been living in the town the whole time. He's the usual mailman of the town, all that stuff. I think it's really cool that for the DLC they gave such a different perspective and such a different weather theme. I should probably turn the music off also. Radio off, I think. I don't remember. I don't think this game had copyrighted music, but don't quote me on that. It may have had copyrighted music. I don't remember any of my gameplay before getting claimed. Or maybe I saw like a tweet from them about it. I don't entirely remember. But speaking of Twitter, so this is a thing from a while ago, since I don't use Twitter anymore. But something I wanted to talk about that has been on my mind about Lake quite a bit, but I've never really talked about in a video about Lake. I've talked about it on streams and stuff before, though. So this game has something really, or had something really interesting happen to it, which is that it got possibly one of the strangest M ratings that I've ever seen. So Lake is literally just a game about delivering mail. I know that like there's a lot of subversive games out there that kind of look like this, and then they end up being like a horror game or something like that, but Lake genuinely is just a like cozy game about delivering mail. There's nothing really like violent or anything like that in it, but from what I remember, I guess the reason why Lake got rated M, and it wasn't rated M just in the US, it was rated like 18 plus in other regions. If I remember right, I think it even got refused classification in Australia. So like it was weird because it was like, what is going on with this game? Like I played through the entire game pretty much. I've made multiple videos on it. There's nothing in this game that really deserves an M rating. And I remember after doing some research, eventually I found out that it was either, I think it was a combo of the fact that there's like a character that drops an F-bomb, which is kind of funny because it's really out of place for this game, but there's a character that drops an F-bomb, and I think maybe swears a couple times. I don't really remember because it's been such a long time since I played. So alongside the character that drops the F-bomb, if I remember right, there was a scene where you get asked if like you want to smoke weed, and you can say no, and I'm not sure if that scene is totally avoidable altogether, but I don't think it is. But either way, so it's like just those two things, from what I understand, are the reason why it got such a high rating. And I really just don't understand how that happened. It's so weird. I've always heard theories before that sometimes games get by with a teen rating or an M rating depending on like how many different categories of a thing they have. That's why like the James Bond games are rated, like the older James Bond games, not the 007 First Light that just came out, although I don't know what that one is even rated, but like 007 Legends and some of the stuff that came out a while ago. Oh, I'm just noticing that the address is like written on the actual box. That's cool. Some of the older James Bond games were all rated teen, even though they were pretty much Call of Duty clones, because even though they had violence in them, there wasn't like a lot of swearing, there wasn't a lot of suggestive content, anything like that. But yeah, I find it mind-boggling that this game got such an extreme rating in every region. Unless I am just entirely missing something, that seems wildly inaccurate. This absolutely seems like a game that should have been rated teen, maybe even E10, but I guess because there's a little bit of swearing in it, I guess teen. I think it might have been like the swearing probably, or maybe the weed thing. I don't know. I guess it is a combo of just those two things that just kind of like push it slightly over the edge into being M rated, but it still just doesn't seem like it's fitting for that. Also, another thing that I want to mention in this video, because I think it's the first one that's going to come out after I've hit 1,000 subscribers, is thank you guys for the 1,000 subscribers. If you're watching this around the time that it actually comes out, I just hit 1,000 subscribers like a week or two ago, and I've got a 1,000 subscriber update video on the way and some other stuff too on the way for it, but it's just going to take a while for me to get that stuff done with. I kind of am rushing this video ahead a little bit actually, because I got an email from Keymailer that was like, hey, you accepted this game key, you've got the deadline for making content for this game is in like a week, and I was like, oh dang, I should get on that, because Keymailer's a little weird with the key stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's up with my Keymailer account. I kind of think sometimes that Keymailer doesn't really know what to do with me, because like sometimes my account is accredited and then other times they take my accreditation away, and then sometimes my gameplay gets marked properly and sometimes it doesn't. And so I don't know. I am a little bit afraid that like someday I'm gonna go on my email and I'm gonna have like 100 emails from Keymailer that like a ton of keys that I requested forever ago got accepted, and I have to make like a bunch of videos in like a week or something. Because when I first signed up for my Keymailer account, I I I seriously I applied for so many game keys, like just about everything that I could. And every now and again I'll get something that I applied for like forever ago. Like even this, I don't even remember when I requested this game key. It must have been a while ago. But yeah, I finally got it, and I was like, whoa, when did I even request this? It's nice too being able to play this on a newer computer. Last time I played this on PC, I had my old computer, and that computer did okay with playing this game, but the fans got really loud, and it didn't do super great at it. That computer was already getting kind of old a few years ago, and so yeah, I mean this computer also I bought it used, but I did a little bit of modification to it myself. This computer is a little bit older as well, but it's significantly more. It's actually probably from around the same time as my old computer was, but this one is significantly more powerful than my old one was. So I can play most things on here still, which is nice. I think I have. I'm not sure what exact graphics settings I'm at, but it's at 44p, and I think it's only running at 50 frames for some reason. Yeah, I can't change it. I don't know why it's only running at 50 hertz, but whatever. It looks fine. So only one more piece of mail to deliver. And then I'll probably do like another day, because when I do these more impressions videos, I kind of want to still play for at least another 15 minutes, especially because sometimes in these videos I end up cutting out a lot of stuff because like I misspeak or whatever it might be. Well, I guess, okay, that's not entirely true, because whenever I do like 15 first impressions, a lot of the times I record the audio afterwards. I'm recording it live for this game just because I figured that would work out best for this one. But a lot of the times I do record the audio afterwards. And I've got another more impressions video coming up as well that I might record right after I finish recording this one. The Division Resurgence, which came out originally on mobile. I made a video about that a while ago, but it actually got a PC release, which I had a feeling was going to happen, but I didn't realize it was going to happen so soon. That came out like a month ago, but I didn't really realize because I didn't see that much about it online. So I want to make a video about that, actually playing that on PC. But yeah, I've talked about a lot of stuff other than the actual game of Lake. Lake is a really good game. I really, really enjoyed this game. It's a couple years old by now, but it's fun. It's definitely a cozy game, but I remember when I played through it before, it felt like everything was just really, really well made. I mean, as you guys can see right now driving around in Season's Greetings DLC, there's a lot of really, like, the whole town that this game is based in is designed pretty well, and evokes like a small town feel in kind of a positive way. Like it's a well designed town and everything, and it feels kind of realistic. Like I've lived in places like this kind of thing, and like the graphics are pretty good as well. They're not like realistic, and I don't even know entirely what I'd consider these graphics, because they're not like cel shaded, but they are good. I really enjoy the look of this game. I enjoy pretty much everything about this game, honestly. I'm curious to see if they ever make a sequel for it. I don't really know how they would. I have a theory that if they ever made a sequel for this game, it might follow that like mechanic girl that you can like donate that RV to in the original game, and like maybe do a game about her during a road trip could be interesting. Seems like the type of thing that would work really well. And I believe we just go back to the post office now. You know, actually, rather than doing another day in Endless Mode in Season's Greetings, I might hop back into the original Lake and see how Endless Mode is in that as well. The Endless Mode update actually came out not that long ago. I don't know if they're planning on doing much more stuff with this game, but the last update for it was in November 2025, and I'm recording this in early June 2026, so it's been like 8 months or so, I guess. I think it was November. It's been a little while since the last update, but I guess that's not that surprising. With like a single player game like this, there's not really a ton of updates to do except for just fixing stuff or adding new modes like this, but I can't really think of what else you would want to add to Lake other than like more DLC, because endless mode kind of, yeah, I can't really think of that much else. All right, and it was Meredith. I was right on the name. So I am curious to see what weather settings I can change here. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, okay, so you can change the weather settings a little bit more in this mode. Well, okay, I wonder if I... Huh. Let's do some rainy mail delivery. I like rain, but it doesn't look like I didn't see an option for snow, so I don't think... Yeah, you can't do rainy. Like, I don't think you can do snow in the normal game, and I don't think you can do rain in Season's Greetings. Also, I need to turn the volume on my monitor down because I think I'm getting feedback into the microphone. Come to think of it, I don't remember if the base game of Lake had stormy weather like this. I don't remember seeing it when I played through it before, although it maybe did. Even though it's been a while, eventually I would kind of like to try to get a physical copy of Lake. Probably for PS5, because I actually don't have a copy of it for PS5. I only have it on Xbox and PC, and I don't have it on physical for either of those. But I do really, really enjoy this game, and I'd like to get a physical copy of it. Yeah, at some point, maybe I'll do like a proper playthrough of this or something. I need to get back into making more playthroughs. I've talked about that a little bit before, but playthroughs do really well on my channel. They also do really well when I upload them to Wulf's Long Plays. I think people would like to watch this game. It is a nice, like, cozy game. I know I keep using the term cozy game to describe Lake, but I kind of can't really think of another good category for it. It really does fit into that category. It is kind of nice too, though, to see a cozy game that isn't, for one, that isn't subversive. Like I was saying earlier, how there's a lot of kind of subversive cozy games that end up actually being horror games, but also that it's not overbearing on your time. Lake is very easy to pick down and put up because there's not really a ton of progression in it, which I know is maybe a bad thing in some ways for some people, but I mean, if you're looking for a game that you can just kind of hop in and out of, it works pretty well for that. I do remember one thing that I remember saying about the original game's story that I might as well reiterate here, though, is I do kind of wish that the original game had more stakes to the story, and if they ever do a sequel to this game or more DLC or something, I think that would be something that would be helpful, because the original game felt very low stakes, which I guess is kind of nice, but in some ways, like, am I at West 3rd Street? Hang on, I'm not sure what package they need. 303 West 3rd Street. That doesn't seem right. Oh, although I guess it's also at the intersection of Jackson Street. Wait, what is... Hang on, okay, I'm confused now, actually, with this road a little bit. Because... Okay, you know... So, I guess this is a good time to reiterate another thing that I had said about the original Lake when I did the 15 first impressions of it and stuff, is that there's a couple things in this game that don't entirely make sense. But so for one, this street naming here doesn't fully make sense, because even though this is coming around a curve and kind of like ends in like a cul-de-sac, this whole street, by conventional standards, at least like where I live, would all be West 3rd Street. Like, because there's not really an intersection here. It just goes all the way down. And that's kind of odd. Especially because, yeah, so 303 Jackson Street, but also a second ago, didn't this just say that it was 303 West 3rd Street a second ago? Yeah. That reminds me, too, in the original game, I remember one thing I talked about, too. Is Meredith and Thomas seem to work for, like, the USPS, but they, the vans they're driving are left-hand drive, which is not super common in the US, even though, like, in the US we have left-hand drive cars. A lot of our mail carriers drive right-hand drive vehicles. It's actually interesting. This is something that's, I guess, kind of worth mentioning because it's a real life related thing. So I live out in the middle of nowhere in real life. I've talked about that before a little bit. And like the local post offices around me don't seem to have that many normal mail trucks. And so it's kind of funny. I've actually started to notice that they seem to be importing right-hand drive cars from Japan. I've noticed there's a couple of mail, like converted mail vehicles around that are actually like little Japanese cars that they don't normally sell in the US. I know I saw one that was like a straight up like Japanese key car, like the real tiny one. I've seen a couple of right-hand drive Jeeps, which I do know that there's a lot of like rural post offices in the US that use those. Largely for like the roads and stuff if the roads are rough. But yeah, it's been kind of funny. I've seen like all these kind of tiny little Japanese cars from the post office. Some point I should like maybe go to the post office and see if they have them parked in the parking lot and see like what they actually are, because that would be kind of interesting to look at. You know, now that I think about it, I wonder why Providence Oaks has mail trucks, or at least a mail truck. Because, you know, now that I think about it, well, okay, I guess it makes sense if... Hang on, actually, I'm going to bring the truck with me because that'll be a long walk. I guess it kind of makes sense if there is only one mail delivery person for the entire town, but Providence Oaks actually seems to have a pretty good sidewalk system. I'm kind of surprised that, like, they don't just have foot carriers. But I suppose that with, like, there being the literal lake and kind of the long drive around the lake, it makes sense to have at least one mail truck. I do think it would be kind of cool if in endless mode, if you could swap the weather between the original game and the Season's Greetings DLC. But I guess that kind of would take away a little bit, maybe, of like the incentive to buy the DLC, which is why they set it up that way. But it would be kind of cool to have Meredith deliver in the snow and have Thomas deliver in the rain. Oh, this reminds me. Actually, real quick while I'm here. I think one of the other updates I saw said something about... Dude, you're driving way over the curb. Said something about you can pet the cats now. I think they added that in an update. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can pet the cat. Pet on the head, pet on the back. Extend it. Yeah, let's extend our hand. That's the best option. You gotta let the cat sniff you first. You have to let cats initiate the petting. Pet the front and back of the head. You gotta pet under the chin. See, I know how this works because I have a cat. You gotta let them sniff you. You gotta let them initiate the petting, and then they love chin scratches. At least my cat loves chin scratches. Now you gotta be careful with the belly pats though, because cats get kind of defensive about that. Alright, I think that's enough petting the cat for now. Especially because we're holding up traffic in the background. Okay, I'm going. He's honking at me. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but I'm getting honked at. I don't know if any of the NPCs ever answer the door, because it did say in the thing that pops up that there's not any new dialogue or storyline stuff or anything. So I guess it makes sense that nobody's answering the doors. But yeah, I don't think, like, even though some of the NPCs live in some of these houses, I don't think they will like answer the door to take the package or anything. In the little bit of playing that I've done of this, I haven't seen that happen once. Yeah, Providence Oaks does seem to just have one mail truck, so I guess it does make sense that they just have one because they do need to deliver slightly far enough. But anyway, that's going to do it for this More Impressions video, so thank you guys for watching. And if you want to see more stuff with me playing Lake, be sure to let me know. Even though this game is single player, I feel like I've still found more things to talk about like every time I've played it. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in other stuff in the future, and bye-bye.